What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with Gab and Maui. And FYI, this is our third video for this week, pero we're shooting all at the same night. So it's not that hindi kami naligo for 3 days or for consecutive days.
We're not
Sunod-sunod
reusing
namin to
clothes,
record.
okay?
We're not reusing clothes. So anyway, for those that are watching, our subscribers, this is the third episode of our back-to-back week. We just had to cover this UAAP News Recap. A lot of things happened the past week, the past few days, the past few weeks. So we wanted to talk about it. Unahin na natin sa defending champions. Getting two key players. Number one is Liam Ramiro, point guard or a guard. Something that they've been looking for. A lot of people, including us, have said na it's something that they need to replace in Evanelli. And the guy that we were talking about the other episode, Alex Konov, choosing LaSalle dun sa 4 schools that he Navs listed. Choosing LaSalle as the school that he was going to. None of us, if you watched that episode, none of us picked LaSalle as our team for Alex Konov. So, I want to hear Maui's reactions. LaSalle getting Ramiro a point guard and out of nowhere, Alex Konov committing to LaSalle. How does this help LaSalle and solidify their title defense this coming UAAP season 87?
Yeah, we've seen some Ramiro from Phil Oil. I have to shout out yung subscribers natin. Kasi subscribers natin, di ba, they mentioned sa comment section natin that LaSalle is going to get a one and done point guard. Or probably get a one and done point guard. And
Tama.
Di ba? It's a curveball. Bigla na lang meron lang naglalaro sa Phil Oil. Bigla na lang may na-announce. I don't know if they were expecting this or they already knew that this was gonna happen. But shout out to them for providing us with that information. We're always thankful when you guys mention to us yung mga insider information nyo from your schools. So please do continue to do that. As far as the acquisition of Konov and Ramiro, I think this is very important for LaSalle, diba? I think si Coach Topex was interviewed, I think after some Phil Oil game, talking about yung recruitments and why they keep on recruiting these big names, especially if it's composition ni KQ, diba, na SFPF, wing players. And this is all about preparing for the future of outside of Kevin Cambao. I think Ramiro will get his chances also this season. We all know yung hole nila on that backcourt spot. So far from what I've seen dun sa games that he's played, he's looking like the guy that will get a ton of minutes sa guard slot outside of VJ David. I think he's a pure point guard. He's very aggressive, and it's very very. I'm excited to see how he will acclimate himself to the UAP basketball, diba? Kasi we have a lot of good guards usually in the Philippines, and some one and done struggle when it comes to adjusting to the UAP basketball's physicality sa guard slot. When it comes to Alex Konov, Sam mentioned it. It was a curveball also for us. I don't think any of the three of us expected him to go to LaSalle. But Coach Topek said it. It's about preparing for life after KQ, diba? I think yung development ng wing players ng LaSalle from how you can see that they are developing right now is one of the reasons why Alex Konov chose LaSalle. Yung development ni Kevin Cambao is unmatched. He started as a center, moved down to the power forward slot, and is now playing the guard slot, in my opinion, sa LaSalle. Si Policarpio has also shown that it is replicable, diba? I think that's very important. Yung success ni Kevin Cambao is replicable, and if you put your number of hours, if you work hard and train with probably one of the top trainers in the country right now, I have to shout out yung Aiton basketball camp, who's been training Kevin Cambao. I think that's one of the reasons why a player of the caliber of prospect of Konov decided to pick LaSalle. Despite I think not having that promise to get playing time at the onset, di ba? This is a guy who was slated to who was rumored or who had the potential to play Division 1 basketball in the USA, di ba? Choosing LaSalle, a team who is stuck on that position right now. If Alex Konov can develop into a guard that will be a welcome sight for our national team, di ba? This guy can shoot. I think that's one of the things that's one of his main strengths, yung outside shooting niya. And if he can develop his ball handling, if he can develop yung playmaking niya, similar to how Cambao and Policarpio have developed them the past few seasons, then that's good for us, for Philippine basketball. That's going to be good for Gilas. Kevin Konov is 6'7". If he can be a guard or a wing for the national team, then that's a welcome sight. I'm excited to
That's the
see
type
how
of player we need.
that's the type of player we need, di ba? Mga power forward, small forward, who are 6'6" and above. I think that's a luxury to have in Asian basketball, di ba? It's one of the main reasons why Japet Aguilar continues to suit up for the national team even when he's gonna turn 40 na, di ba? It's one of the main reasons why we're very high on Carl Tamayo, why we're high on Mason Amos, why Mason Amos is part of the national team also for this coming window. So I'm excited. I'm excited how LaSalle develops Konov. I'm excited how they'll be able to integrate him, and I'm excited to see him in the UAAP when there are not when we're starting to really see a change. I think ito yung main effect of us having that FSA slot, diba? At the center spot. We're seeing a ton of players play the wing spot at 6'5" and up, diba? Jacob Baila is another player we can mention who's a top recruit who decided to play in the Philippines, who also stands tall, diba? That's Andrew Bongo from Ateneo is another name. So it's a welcome sight, diba? We don't have to play 6'5" guys, 6'6" guys at the center slot. Now we can play them as power forwards. Now we can play them as do it all forwards. And Alex Konov, a potentially Division 1, Division 2 player in the US, deciding to play in the Philippines is a welcome sight. It will increase yung competition in the UAAP. It will increase yung coverage ng UAAP. I don't know if this is the best spot, the best fit for Alex Konov, but I know that if Alex Konov does indeed work hard, then he will get better with LaSalle. Kasi it's a proven It's a proven commodity with LaSalle. They can develop their big man into very capable wing players, all-around players. It's one of the reasons why we were very vocal that Policarpio had to stay with LaSalle because we want to continue to see him develop. If he goes to the NCAA, then he might play some center minutes, di ba? But if he stays in the UAAP, he'll probably play 3 or 4. This is also another signing for LaSalle that can help them match up with yung quicker and long players ng UP. Di ba? Terculas, Lopez, and Belmonte. Anytime you get a caliber of Alex Konov, you have to be happy. I think LaSalle has all the tools to make it to the finals, back to the finals, even without Konov. But having that versatility with Konov is a welcome sight for LaSalle. It's something that they can build on. They can start building on their future also now. Maybe they should play Konov both in... I don't know if Konov will still be able to play in the preseason. I think they're expecting him to get here kasi July na eh. So maybe we see Konov in another league. But hopefully they can integrate him into the system. Hopefully we see him develop along the year. Sam.
Gab.
Yeah, I think...
Question lang kay Gab. Maybe you can answer this, Gab. Maui mentioned fit. Si Ramiro, we talked about it. There's a hole in the point guard position for LaSalle. Great addition for LaSalle. But for Alex Konov, at least for season 87, LaSalle has a stacked lineup of bigs or lengthy players, diba? So what does this mean for Alex Konov in season 87? And then later on, what does this mean for other guys like Luis Pablo? Playing
it's
chances
like you read,
in season 88.
It's like you read my mind, Samuel Santos. It's like you read my mind because I was gonna get there. Let's go first to Liam Ramiro. Yeah, we've seen him play 3 games now. He's looked decent. Well, he's a pretty old player already. He's had a ton of experience, so that's one thing. I don't think he's gonna have the same difficulties as what a young rookie would have. But I'm actually not interested in any game until he proves himself against the UP Fighting Maroons. It's UP. That's all. This is why they got Liam Ramiro. because VJ David looked like a Team B player against the UP Fighting Maroons. So they needed someone who could look like a competent point guard against the UP Fighting Maroons. If he plays well against an Ateneo, UST, and NU, I don't care. Because UP is the barometer for guards in the UAAP. And if he shits the bed against UP, and I don't think Lasallians are gonna be happy. I don't think any of the UAP fans who have been following LaSalle are gonna be happy with Liam Ramiro if he shits the bed against the UP Fighting Maroons, because really that's the only UP is the only competitor for to them actually repeating as champions. So wait and see talaga ako kay UK Ramiro. He can score 20 points against the UE Red Warriors, and I still would not care until he plays against the UP Fighting Maroons. With Alex Konov, Sam, again, you read my mind because I was gonna answer that. What it means for him in season 87, bro, he ain't getting any minutes. You kidding me? Look at this front line of the LaSalle Green Archers. Mike Phillips had to move down from playing center because now they have a competent FSA in Henry Agonane. And I even think if Henry Agonane was struggling, I think you would see Mike Phillips even move to center and just move the pieces around. You have Kevin Kiombao and Jonel Policarpio still there. They're probably going to take up a bunch of the small forward, the power forward minutes if Kevin Kiombao's not there. If Mike Phillips, and I was going to get to him, Raven Cortez is still there, a very competent backup center. I mean, I think the best backup center probably in the UAAP. So he's not gonna get meaningful minutes in season 87. And for season 88, maybe if KQ decides that he's going pro. There have been rumors he's being courted by the KBL. By maybe in December he's gonna head pro and go to the KBL. But he recruited his buddies for season 88. So I would assume he's gonna play in season 88 for his final and fifth year in the UAAP. I mean, come on, man. Medyo asama mo naman kay Kian at kay Jacob Cortez kung sabihin mo na maglaro ka dito kasama ko, hindi ka maglalaro for season 88, diba? So, yeah, I think 87, 88, if the lineups are still intact for the if no one leaves for DLSU, I don't think Alex Konov is getting any meaningful minutes there in that front court, unless he's suddenly a 6'7" point guard or a shooting guard, which is highly unlikely. No, I don't see him getting any minutes.
Malay mo, si Paulie umalis.
Again,
Posible.
it's a big if. It's an if.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
if, Maui. It's an if. Yun nga, it's a big if eh. For a guy like Luis Pablo, my God, this guy cannot catch a break. He was overshadowed by UP's front court recruitment in season 86. Decided to leave, go back to LaSalle, and now LaSalle has recruited another guy who can potentially play his position. And that's on top of if KQ or Paulie will leave. Because if he plays in season 87, and KQ and Paulie are still there along with Raven Cortez and Mike Phillips, again, there's no meaningful minutes available for him. If KQ leaves, good for Luis Pablo. But he now has competition in Alex Konov. So, again, this is over-recruitment at its finest. Again, that's like the old school. I wouldn't say that old school, but 2010 is. I'm not gonna say 2010 is old school, guys, kasi but yung bata pa lang kami. So back in the 2010s, LaSalle, they did this. They recruited a bunch of players who played the same position and overshadowed each other's. Hopefully, this is not the case. I do hope that Alex Konov is patient, because I don't think he's gonna outplay Jonel Policarpio, Mike Phillips, KQ, or Raven Cortez for majority of the minutes. And even Henry Agonane, I don't think he's gonna steal any minutes from those guys. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it for Alex Konov. If ever he wanted to play minutes immediately, this was not the way to go. Not LaSalle. Maui Sam.
Yeah, as Maui said, I think it's really recruitment for the future. But season 87, not sure. But I think it's also good for Konov to come in season 87 and just play or train with KQ. Maui, yun yung lagi mong pinupush kay Policarpio last season. Train with KQ, train with KQ. And actually, that's what they did, diba? And we've seen Policarpio's improvement. So, we'd like to see Alex Konov really work with KQ and see yung work ethic ni KQ and be inspired by his kuya. But
Pablo
yeah, good
rin, di ba?
ano.
Si Pablo rin, siyempre, we want to see him
Pablo
develop.
rin. Sorry, yeah, that's what you were saying pala. Pablo din. So, good recruit for Lasal. I think anytime you can get a talent like that, you have to be happy, as Maui mentioned. Moving on to FEU, Coach Sean Chambers, very busy abroad. Hindi pa ata siya bumabalik, no? But they've added, I think, Nicolas Dunke. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And confirmed FSA to si Montel Shelton. So there were rumors na Phil Foreign siya, but FSA siya as confirmed. So this guy's a big guy, by the way. I think ano ba height nito? Basta
Six
you can
nine.
see the photo. 6'9", 6'10", big dude. Um Obviously
Big
not going to
boy.
be eligible for this season, next season pa siya, but Gab, what are your thoughts on Montel Shelton, the new FSA for next season, and Phil Foreign, Nicolas Dunke?
Uh, I have not seen a lot of Nicolas Dunke. Again, if you search for him, if you Google him, not much is gonna show up. So maybe a few highlights here and there, but largely nothing. So I don't know what to say. I have probably when he gets here, hopefully he can provide the much needed shooting that they lack. We've talked about this. FEU desperately needs knockdown shooters just to give space to their primary playmakers in VJ Pre and Janary Pasol and even Joric Bautista. But uh, let's see. I'm not sure you what his game is right now. I mean, I don't know much about this guy. For Montel Shelton, my initial reaction was, wow, they really don't trust Konate. I thought Konate was in it for the long haul. I mean, he looked good. He looked decent. He was had some pretty good showings in Pinoy Liga and in Phil Oil. I thought they would invest in him. Now my question is he a one and done? Because I haven't heard if he's a one and done. I doubt si Shelton came here just to ride the be a reserve or something. So I assume he's gonna play, and that's I kind of feel bad for Konate now. I mean, you're playing hard, but next season you're not gonna be in the lineup. This does not make sense to me if that were the case. Now, if Konate was a one and done, which I haven't heard, if Konate was a one and done, now this makes more sense that they're replacing him with someone big. My worry with Shelton is can he move? The UAAP has embraced modern basketball. There's a lot of teams that pace and space the floor. So much like, and I know we'll go on a tangent here, much like the recruitment of Jordan Wilmore for UP, I don't get it because uh, essentially there's both of them are big and lumbering slow big men, and I don't know how they fit in this day and age of basketball. Maybe you have him parked in the paint, I guess. But I don't think these guys can play heavy minutes or not yet. See, Jordan Wilmore, we've seen him in Pinoy Liga. He can't play heavy minutes yet. So, and essentially, he can't guard smaller guys. So, I don't know yet of Montel Shelton from his build and his body. It looks like he's going to be the same as a Jordan Wilmore, maybe someone slow, someone who can protect the paint and just park in the paint, some drop coverage there. But I don't get it if Udodo and both Konate are both eligible for season 88. Why is there a lack of faith in them? I mean, they haven't played bad. They haven't been terrible. I mean, why? Why? I don't get it. I don't get the Shelton and the Wilmore recruitments. Doesn't make sense to me. Maui or Sam.
Yeah. Bouncing off on that, I think uso na talaga ngayon yung nagkaka-backup SAs. Backups, not just
Yun na
backup.
yung theme, no? Yun na yung theme ngayon.
Siguro, I don't know if it's a byproduct of UST and UE almost not having an FSA last year. Maybe teams are preparing to have more FSAs available. I don't know if that's the trend. It doesn't look like for Ateneo. Ateneo doesn't have any options on the FSA slot. But maybe that's the case. Maybe, as I've mentioned, as we mentioned throughout this podcast, generally speaking, for you to be successful in the UAAP, you have to have a competent FSA. So maybe that's the worst case scenario. They have multiple FSAs, multiple options, so they don't get that type of season that UST had last season. We've seen how Ateneo has struggled during the preseason right now, not having that FSA. They haven't won a game. I don't know, that speaks volumes. But I haven't seen any of those two guys, to be honest, to be able to give a fair assessment of what type of impact they will have on FEU. What I'm actually excited about is Coach Sean Chambers continuing to recruit a ton of players for FEU, di ba?
Yun,
We
tama.
we talked
I
about
agree.
we talked about, si Gab mentioned during our previous episode that FEU currently lacks bench players who can contribute. So maybe him continuing that recruitment spree and getting players eligible for this or next season will answer that question, diba? So far, most of their key guys right now are from their juniors division, so mga homegrown players. We'll see how he integrates some of his recruits from the United States, some of the PhilAms and some of those who are FSAs. I think that's something that you FEU fans have to look forward to, having that guy who can recruit players from everywhere. We know how it is now in the UAAP, how money plays a big part in getting recruits. So FEU continuing to get some players to commit to them is a welcome sight, diba? I think that's very important. Finding diamonds in the rough, finding players who can fit your system, and getting commitments. At the end of the day, you have to have a ton of players available. You have to have a lot of backups. Given the recent trend in the UAAP, diba? A lot of players get to go pro earlier. A lot of players decide to go pro earlier. We've seen FSAs suddenly vanish out of thin air, diba? So it's better to have options than none at all. And Sean Chambers, despite probably not having the same bankroll as probably Ateneo, UP, and Salle, it's a welcome sight, or in UST, it's a welcome sight that he continues to recruit, diba? You have to find ways to be able to play the system, to be able to compete. I think UE has done a good job also of finding diamonds in the rough. I think players are going to UE because they know that it's a land of opportunity. Diba? FEU now is having a recruitment spree with PhilAms, and it's because of Sean Chambers' vast, probably, network of scouts in the United States. And anytime we get more PhilAms, I think it's a positive for the UAAP. Can only bring the competition up. Diba? It will push the local players to do better. Diba? They're not competing only with local players now. They're competing with Filipinos, and even some of the FSAs we're getting a ton of FSAs, diba? So they get to practice with those players also. So yeah, this is a welcome sight. FEU fans have to be excited with really what Sean Chambers brings to the table. Kasi ako, I can say that I'm very excited. It's if we're talking about glimmer of hope for Ateneo, we're talking about new opportunities for FEU, diba? It's something to really shake up yung basketball program nila. Was struggled a ton the past few years.
Yeah, you talk about FEU getting teams like FEU getting like these recruits, no, versus like big funded schools like Ateneo, UP Lasal, UST. We had that parity episode when we talked about transferees, and this is like a welcome sight, no? Teams like FEU, like UE getting these types of recruits. Despite maybe not having as big of a funding as other schools. You hit it on the spot for me, Maui. I think more than, to be honest, I haven't seen much of these players also, but more than the players, I think for FEU, it's really hearing continuous recruits coming out of let's say the US or outside the country. I think this is why Sean Chambers is the coach. We briefly talked about si Jaden Jones in another episode, so that's another recruit for FEU coming in. I think what's unique about Coach Sean Chambers is he has a lot of connections abroad, but he also has local connections, or at least the local Filipinos, especially the older ones, probably like Sean Chambers, diba? Kasi he played played here locally before. So may ganung may ganung impact din si Coach Sean, not just abroad but locally. Moving on, speaking of well-funded schools, UST gets the NCAA Juniors MVP Amiel Acido to commit to their team. Amiel Acido coming from, I think, Perpetual Help, the first MVP coming from Perpetual Help. Maui, how does this bolster or improve the chances of UST? Because you had them very high on your power rankings, preseason power rankings, by the way.
Yeah, I think anytime you get a caliber of a previous MVP from a previous from the juniors division, it's a big thing also. But I would like to temper my expectations with Amiel Acido. I know he's a do-it-all forward, but kasi si SJ Moore has really
Akala ko sabihin
destroyed-
mo yung temper my expectations of UST. Sabi ko,
Hindi.
nagbago
No.
isip ni Maui.
Hindi, we have, I guess we have to wait and see how he translates his game, diba? Kasi being the MVP in the juniors division, that does not guarantee that you will translate well to the seniors division, diba? We've seen a ton of players struggle. But this guy was also heavily recruited, so maybe it's a different story. But we'll have to see first how he fares against seniors players. I think that was the case also for Jared Bahay from my perspective. I wasn't that hype. I would say that other people, despite him being the consensus number one high school player, despite him outperforming sa under 16 and also playing sa under 18, rather outperforming sa under 18 and performing sa under 16, diba? You don't know how a player translates until you see him play in the seniors division. The juniors and seniors divisions are two different ball games, diba? So we'll have to wait and see. Because of SJ Moore also, yung recency bias ko, I have to wait and see with Amiel Acido right now. It's the same thing that happened to me with Bahay. To be honest, if alam niya ng mga kaibigan ko, alam niya ng mga lagi ko nakakausap about basketball, I was waiting and see with Bahay and how he would translate to the UAAP. How will he be able to play? It's been around probably 5 or 6 games, but my mind has changed a lot. I've liked what I've seen with Bahay. Maybe that would be the case for Amiel Acido. Hopefully it's not another SJ Moore. Grabe kasi yung hype with SJ Moore, even won MVP, di ba? Dun sa Slam Rising Stars, which was also won by Jonel Policarpio, who hasn't disappointed at all sa college basketball. So we'll have to wait and see if he strays to dictate what happens, di ba? It's never 100% when it comes to MVPs, di ba?
Pero I guess just to add there, Maui, Amiel Acido, do it all forward wing, probably going to play the wing in the UAAP Seniors Division. The type of player that Coach Pido Harencio loves. So he has a good chance of developing under Coach Pido Harencio. So that's a good choice for him. Gab.
My initial reaction was the same as Maui, and why I was laughing while on mute was that that's exactly my same thought. I don't wanna get too excited because SJ Moore was in the same position last season. We were hyped, so I wanna be a little bit more calm about it. Like I've been with UST this whole preseason. Let's chill. Let's chill first. Let's see what it is. How it's gonna go. Um, my concern though is he plays on the perimeter. You said it yourself. He's a wing slash forward. They already have a ton of perimeter players already.
Kulang
So
pa
if
yun kay
he's
Coach Pito, Gab. Kulang pa yun.
maybe hindi nga yan nilalaro si SJ Moore saka si Jeremy Robinson saka si Ashon Andrews. Wala masyadong minutes eh. So there are already a ton of wing.
Shooting ang kailangan ni Coach
Yeah.
Pido.
Yep, totoo. And si Ice Danting, I think that's why he's starting beside guys like Padrigao and Cabanero, because he provides that spacing that they so desperately need. No, which is why I was adamant about this. If Alex Konov was gonna choose somewhere he had to play immediately, UST made a lot of sense because they need shooting as well, similar to FEU, and they need size as well. So that could have been the perfect fit. But for Amiel Acido, I don't foresee him having a huge role immediately with this team, just because I think their perimeter rotation is set. I mean, they have Padrigao and Paranada rotating at point
Estacio.
guard. Padrigao's but to be fair, si Estacio I think backs up si Nick Cabanero yung on the wing. So he plays alongside si Paranada just to give that extra playmaking. Then you have si Ice Danting, and then other wings from the bench. I think I mentioned them, si Ashon Andrews, Jeremy Robinson. They have a ton. So I'm not sure he's gonna get minutes. Now, if he's really good, maybe you could see him cracking the rotation. If he's really, really good. But again, I temper my expectation. One other thing that stood out to me with this recruitment is they're essentially, since yun nga, no, marami na silang perimeter players. They're essentially going the UP Ateneo / LaSalle route. They're gonna recruit as much as possible. I don't think they really care about fit or positional redundancy with this, because UP, LaSalle, Ateneo essentially do the same thing. And now UST is back in the game, baby. They're back. They have a ton of perimeter players. Oh, we're recruiting another one. We're recruiting the NCAA MVP who plays the same position as our starters. So as our main rotation guys. So USC is back, baby, and hopefully it results into some winning. Maui or Sam?
Yeah. Moving on, next team that we're going to talk about is Ateneo getting a bunch of recruits. So we've seen Waki Espina play for Ateneo in Phil Oil, but we also heard a couple of recruits from Ateneo, specifically Tim Broth. Sorry, hinanap ko pa yung list ko kasi hindi ako sure. Tim Broth, Marcus Nicolas, Adam De La Cruz, in addition to Waki Espina. I'm not sure if you guys have seen any of these guys play, but I think Maui, you're high on Waki Espina. So I want to hear your thoughts on the recruit so far.
Yeah, actually, I think underappreciated. Well, di naman underappreciated because I think a ton of teams wanted the services of Waki Espina. He wasn't talked about a lot kasi he's the teammate of di ba, Alas De La Salle Zobel. But I think this guy has potential. I think a lot of I've been reading the alumni groups that were already comparing him to a young Gian Mamuya for Ateneo. I think he can fit that role.
Grabe yung hype ah.
He's very long. He has a 3-point shot. I think that he can potentially be that type of player for Ateneo. I think that this guy could surprise us and probably crack the rotation. Kasi right now, you really don't know yet with Ateneo, I think, who's going to get that consistent minutes. But as far as the other three goes, it's still a wait and see. I haven't seen a ton of players from the UK. We're also waiting for Femi Edu right now. But we'll probably not see them a lot anymore kasi patapos na Phil Oil, and I don't know what tournaments Ateneo will still join. So it's gonna be a wait and see for all of us. What I was expecting,
The big dance, Maui. Kasali Ateneo doon, di ba?
Yeah,
Shout out to
kasali.
Pinoy
Pero
Liga and
Shout
shout
out
out
to
to
Benny
Pinoy
Pinoy
Liga.
Benitez.
Liga.
The problem is, Gab, if talo agad sila sa unang game, di, baka tanggal agad. Diba? So, I don't know if
Yun
Kasali pa rin
lang.
sila, technically.
Yun lang.
yeah, I don't know if we get a ton of reps for these recruits. Yeah, but possibly sa Pinoy Liga because Pinoy Liga allows everyone to play, which is one of the things that we love about Pinoy Liga. It's one of the things that we look forward to when we look at Pinoy Liga because we see players who are not even eligible for the season also play for those teams. Yeah, but anyway, what I was actually expecting for Ateneo, what I've been waiting for, I think everyone has been waiting for the whole off season is a big man, diba? Ateneo lost Obasa, Ateneo lost Balungay and Gio Chu. Unsurprisingly, even Gio Chu. I think what Ateneo needs right now is a big man. So I don't know if Ateneo is over recruiting on the wings or maybe these guys just want to try basketball here in the Philippines and don't have a backup plan sa where they are, especially yung mga from the UK. I don't know how basketball is in the UK. I don't know, but what I were actually really, to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed because yung announcements are all wing players and even a guard, diba? Right now, what Ateneo needs is a big. I think that's been the consensus. If you ask any Atenean, we need more big man. We need an update on our FSA. Will Balogun play? Will there be another FSA? I don't know. Right now, those are questions that need to be answered. I don't know if any of these guys will be integral parts of Ateneo's future. I guess Ateneo is just training a lot of guys right now. But siguro this is really also them preparing because if history is to if we are to look at history, a lot of players are now starting to leave the program early, diba? So having these players train in Team B or with the Team A will prepare them better for the future. Kasi Tuksay Ateneo has been the team that has been hit the most by players deciding to leave early. And I think if I were to look at yung alumni group ng Ateneo, people are getting annoyed that players are leaving early. Which I don't fault them. I think I've been vocal enough to say that the earlier the player gets to play pro basketball, the better. Diba? I think all three of us agree on that. So maybe Ateneo is recruiting all of these players so they are ready for any player who decides to leave. But I don't see any of the other three guys having an impact. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a wait and see. Si Waki Espina, I'm excited. Gab.
Same reaction as to the Femi Edu news when he went to Ateneo. What do we need another wing perimeter guard player for? We can't even 5 minutes for every single one of them. There's still a lot of players in Team B who don't get to play. I don't get it. This does not help in the immediate season 87, in my opinion. Waki Espina, same Maui. I've seen him play in Phil Oil. I like the tools. He's long, has a shot. People forget, Gian Mamuyak did not have shooting when he first entered the UAAP Seniors Division.
Yeah.
He did not have a shot. He was do-it-all guard, forward in the high school division, who could defend the best player on the other team, but he didn't have a shot. But eventually, he developed it. So, Waki Espina is way ahead of the curve in terms of the comparison to Gian Mamuya because he already had a shot. He averaged, I think, close to 20 points a game in the juniors division. Again, overshadowed by the fact that his teammate was a young, spectacular Kiefer Alas, but he was pretty good as well. You can see that he has size. His shooting stroke is beautiful. He hasn't hit it quite efficiently yet in the seniors division. I think he will adjust to that. I mean, he's played 5 games in Phil Oil, and I think he's barely gotten any practice time with the seniors team. So yeah, if there's one player from these three that I think could crack the lineup, it's Waki Espina. I think Coach Tab will be right to try and develop him. For the other two, same as Maui, I'm not sure. Again, same as Dunke for FEU. You search for them online. You Google them. you ain't seeing much. So it's hard to judge. So forgive us if wala kami masyadong opinions on them. It's a wait and see what they actually bring to the table. Maybe you'll see them in very obscure leagues. I don't think you'll see them in the big dance or whatever big league yung Ateneo is joining. Maybe in smaller leagues that Ateneo will join when Team B is gonna play. But who knows? Maybe these are underrated guys who are suddenly pretty good. But it's a wait and see. Um, Again, we don't need players like these. We have enough young perimeter guys that we need to develop, and we're adding guys that are still unproven players, much like our current roster. A big guy would have been nice, as Maui said. A big guy would have been nice. Sammy, Maui.
Waki Espina, you guys mentioned. Obviously, there is some hype around him. Since people have seen him play in the high school in the juniors division. I'm always rooting for guys that go to their rival schools in college. So, for Zobel, for Lasal,
You
sina
were rooting
Troy
for Waki
Malili.
Manuel?
Yeah, yeah. Pero wait lang, Gab. Let me finish. Kasi I respect them, pero I was gonna say, I'm rooting for Waki Espina because merong curse. Ateneans who go to Lasal, Waki Manuel, BJ Manalo, didn't do so well. Uh, Lasal players that went to Ateneo, Lasal High School players that went to Ateneo, Troy Malilin, obviously rode the bench for majority of his college career. So, I'm rooting for Waki Espina to break the curse.
Nico Elorde, bro!
Well, Nico Elorde, that's true. Pero si Capasio, his teammate, also barely played until probably like his last year. So, good luck to Waki Espina. To the Ateneo fans out there, I haven't seen the other recruits, so I don't wanna like pass judgment or comment kung hindi ko pa sila nakita. But I think just to reiterate yung sinasabi ni Maui and Gab, I think when you hear new recruits na nakukuha ng Ateneo, my dad recently, ito ang lagi niyang tinatanong sa akin. When I send him, may bagong recruit Ateneo, I forward to him, ano height? Ano height yung tanong? Ano height? Ano position? Kasi I think every Atenean is looking for a big man for Ateneo for season 87. So we'll see. Wait and see for the Ateneo fans.
Just
I know
as a last point,
the stress out
if
there.
they were recruited
Go,
by
Gab.
Coach Tab, I think Coach Tab saw something in them.
Saw
Diba?
something in them.
So,
High IQ
again,
players.
in Tab we trust. Even if it looks bad right now, we've seen Coach Tab just work wonders with whatever talent was given to him. So, I don't know. I know people are questioning Tab right now, and questioning these recruitments, like why isn't it a big guy? But I think Coach Tab sees stuff in players that we just don't see. I mean, he's a four-time UAP champion, a multi-titled international coach. I think we could give him the benefit of the doubt.
And yeah, just to end, by the way, like obviously we all heard Coach Tab was recruiting Alex Konov, one of the first guys to talk to Alex Konov dun sa 4 teams. It's just that he ended up deciding to go to Lasal. So it's not like Coach Tab is exclusively recruiting guards, diba? Or like these teams are just recruiting big men. Really depends then on the players, on I guess the best opportunity for them to develop or to get minutes, whatever they want. So we'll see. But that's it, I think, for UAAP News Recap. That's it for our back-to-back episode week. I hope you guys enjoyed all 3 episodes as much as we did. Please watch all of them. Comment down below your reactions, thoughts, ideas. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share with your friends. We appreciate it. See you again next time. Bye-bye.